The Crystal Cave by Mary Stewart, Book 1, The Dove. We are continuing with the second chapter. My uncle found me on Moravic's terrace. I was lying on my belly on the hot flagstones watching a lizard. Of all that day, this is my most vivid recollection. The lizard, flat on the hot stone within a foot of my face, its body still as green bronze, but for the pulsing throat. It had small, dark eyes, no brighter than slate, and the inside of its mouth was the color of melons. It had a long, sharp tongue, which flicked out quick as a whip, and its feet made a tiny rustling noise on the stones as it ran across my finger and vanished down a crack in the flags. I turned my head. My uncle Camlack was coming down through the orchard. He mounted the 3 shallow steps of the terrace, soft-footed in his elegant laced sandals, and stood looking down. I looked away. The moss between the stones had tiny white flowers no bigger than the lizard's eyes, each one perfect as a carved cup. To this day I remember the design on them as well, as if I had carved it myself. "Let me see," he said. I didn't move. He crossed the stone bench and sat down facing me, knees apart, clasped hands between them. "Look at me, Merlin." I obeyed him. He studied me in silence for a while. "I'm always being told that you will not play rough games, you run away from Dineas, that you will never make a soldier or even a man. Yet when the king strikes you down with a blow which would have sent one of his deer-hounds yelping to the kennel, you make no sound and shed no tear." I said nothing. "I think perhaps you are not quite what they deem you, Merlin." Still nothing. "Do you know why Gorlin came today?" I thought it better to lie. "No." "He came to ask for your mother's hand. If she had consented, you would have gone with him to Brittany." I touched one of the moss cups with a forefinger. It crumbled like a puffball and vanished. Experimentally, I touched another. Camlick said more sharply than he usually spoke to me, "Are you listening?" "Yes, but if she's refused him, it will hardly matter." I looked up. "Will it?" "You mean you don't want to go? I would have thought." He knitted the fair brows like my grandfather's. "You would be treated honorably and be a prince." "I'm a prince now, as much a prince as I ever can be." "What do you mean by that?" "If she has refused him," I said, "he cannot be my father. I thought he was. I thought that was why he had come." "What made you think so?" "I don't know. It seemed—" I stopped. I could not explain to Camlack about the flash of light in which Gorlin's name had come to me. "I just thought he must be." "Only because you have been waiting for him all this time." His voice was calm. "Such waiting is foolish, Merlin. It's time you face the truth. Your father is dead." I put my hand down on a tuft of moss, crushing it. I watched the flesh of the fingers whiten with its pressure. "She told you that?" "No." He lifted his shoulders. "But had he been still alive, he would have been here long since. You must know that." I was silent. "And if he is not dead," pursued my uncle, watching me, "and still has never come, it can surely not be a matter for a great grief on anyone's part?" "No, except that however base he may be, it might have saved my mother something, and me." As I moved my hand, the moss slowly unfurled again as if growing, but the tiny flowers had gone. My uncle nodded. "She would have been wiser, perhaps, to have accepted Gorlin, or some other prince." "What will happen to us?" I asked. "Your mother wants to go into St. Peter's, and you are quick and clever, and I am told you can read a little. You could be a priest." "No!" His brows came down again over the thick bridged nose. "It's a good enough life. You're not warrior stock, that's certain. Why not take a life that will suit you, and where you'd be safe?" "I don't need to be a warrior to want to stay free. To be shut up in a place like St. Peter's, it's not the way." I broke off. I had spoken hotly, but I found words failing me. I could not explain something I did not know myself. I looked up eagerly. "I'll stay with you. If you cannot use me, I'll run away to serve some other prince. But I would rather stay with you." "Well, it's early yet to speak of things like that. You're very young." He got to his feet. "Does your face hurt you?" "No." You should have it seen to. Come with me now." He put out a hand, and I went with him. He led me up through the orchard, then in through the arch that led to my grandfather's private garden. I hung back against his hand. "I'm not allowed in there." "Surely with me. Your grandfather is with his guests. He'll not see you. Come along, I've got something better for you than your windfall apples. They've been gathering the apricots, and I saved the best aside out of the baskets as I came down. He trod forward with that graceful cat stride of his, through the bergamot and lavender to where the apricot and peach trees stood, crucified against the high wall of the sun. The place smelt drowsy with herbs and fruit, and the doves were crooning from the dove house. At my feet a ripe apricot lay, velvet in the sun. I pushed at it with my toe until it rolled over, and there, in the back of it, was a great rotten hole with wasps crawling. A shadow fell over it. My uncle stood above me with an apricot in each hand. I told you I've got something better than windfalls. Here, he handed one to me. And if they beat you for stealing, they'll have to beat me as well. He grinned and bit into the fruit he held. I stood still with a big bright apricot cupped in the palm of my hand. The garden was very hot and very still and quiet except for the humming of insects. The fruit glowed like gold and smelled like sunshine and sweet juice. Its skin felt like the fur of a golden bee. I could feel my mouth watering. What is it? Asked my uncle. He sounded edgy and impatient. The juice of his apricot was running down his chin. Don't stand there staring at it, boy. Eat it. There's nothing wrong with it, is there? I looked up. The blue eyes, fierce as a fox, stared down into mine. I held it out to him. I don't want it. It's black inside. Look, you can see right through. He took his breath sharply as if to speak. Then voices came from the other side of the wall, the gardeners probably, bringing the empty fruit baskets down ready for morning. My uncle, stopping, snatched the fruit out of my hand and threw it from him. Hard against the wall, it burst in a golden splash of flesh against the brick, and the juice ran down. A wasp, disturbed from the tree, droned past between us. Camlick flapped at it with a queer, abrupt gesture and said to me in a voice that was suddenly all venom, Keep away from me after this, you devil's brat. Do you hear me? Just keep away. He dashed the back of his hand across his mouth and went from me in long strides towards the house. I stood where I was, watching the juice of the apricot trickle down the hot wall. A wasp alighted on it, crawled stickily, then suddenly fell, buzzing on its back to the ground, its body jackknifed. The buzz rose to a whine as it struggled, then it lay still. I hardly saw it, because something had swelled in my throat till I thought I would choke, and the golden evening swam brilliant into tears. This was the first time in my life that I remember weeping. The gardeners were coming down past the roses with baskets in their hands. I turned and ran out of the garden. And that is the end of chapter 2.